You challenged one visitor who said that he has had the same body all his life. Explain.
Well, consider these cells for example, these skin cells here. The skin cells that you and I are seeing right now on these two physical bodies are not going to be here in 28 days. They're going to be completely replaced. And if you go back and look at your pictures from age 1 up to wherever we are now, there's no consistency there. You know, with the exception of a few organs, everything is constantly coming and going. So out of all of those different manifestations of bodies, cells, coming, going, which one of those would be me? It's just constantly moving, so therefore that can't be me. Those are just all temporary manifestations.
Okay, but why do you say that people cannot die?
Because they haven't been born. Now what does that mean? We talk about this creation process. We as parents are so proud that we created this, we created that, when really we haven't created anything. The only thing that's happening is that these elements of the earth via plant consumption are cycling. There's nothing that's created. Trillions and trillions and trillions of people have come and gone on this planet, but the elements have been the same. It's finite. These same elements just keep cycling. And so there's nothing being created. It's just a matter of elements coming together. We understand that. It takes a little bit of the notion away that I'm so special. And if I take that away from me, I can start taking away the notion that I am personal, that I am a person, that I am special, egotism manifests, personas, egotism, separation from others. See, we've got to get rid of that notion that anything special is happening here. It's just a natural process. Things coming together, things coming apart.
Okay, let's go to the mind. You wrote a book entitled "There's No Such Thing as Peace of Mind." Mm-hmm. There's only peace if you're out of your mind. What do you mean exactly by that?
Once I get past body identification, if I'm trying to move along this path to realization, the next obstacle is the mind. And we talk about my mind. So many people are so proud of their beliefs, they help define who I am, Floyd, etc. No. The fact is, what the mind is a conglomeration of all the ideas, the beliefs, the concepts that we've been taught by others. And none of those are new to us. So actually, there's no such thing as my mind. There's their mind, which has simply been passed on. Now, all of these ideas and concepts and beliefs, if they're investigated, what's found is they have no validity. Therefore, if I'm driven by my mind, then I'm driven by some fictional conglomeration of information that's determining what I say, how I feel, what I do, etc., and it's all based in falsehoods. So, when I say there's no such thing as peace of mind, there's only peace if I'm out of my mind. What I'm talking about is a state wherein I have given up attachment to concepts. I've reached a point that the Advaitins speak of, a point of zero concepts. And that is the beginning of freedom. I'm not driven by other people's beliefs and ideas and notions, which under investigation have found to be not true at all anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, you made a distinction between the mind and the consciousness and the brain. What is the difference in those three?
Okay. The brain is rooted in the elements. Okay. After the act of friction and conception, the mother's continuing to eat plants. Those are being converted into different organs, etc. It's all just happening naturally. And the brain, of course, is a part of that process. It's a plant food organ as well. So that's rooted in the elements. The consciousness, on the other hand, is rooted in what's called the absolute. It's that field of energy where it was prior to manifestation. Here it is now manifested in this body come consciousness. But that's rooted in the absolute. The mind is rooted in something totally different, which is what I mentioned earlier. It's rooted in programming, conditioning, acculturation, domestication, and it's all false. So the consciousness is real, the brain is elemental. We could function with that just fine and did for millions of years. But the mind is post what's called birth, but there's not really a birth because there's no creation. Therefore, there's this gathering together of these elements. The brain is a part of that. The consciousness is manifested from the field of energy. The mind is totally different. It's fabricated. Mm-hmm. It's all fictional.
I take it that there's some connection with that and the pointer that you are not in the world. The world is in you. What does that mean?
Exactly. The teaching is that if there's 6.5 billion people on the planet and you ask them, what is this world like? You're going to get 6.5 billion different answers. Because of that, there is no one answer, therefore there is no truth about what this world is perceived to be. What you perceive it to be and what I perceive it to be could be totally different. Some people perceive it to be wonderful, some perceive it to be horrible. Who's right? It's just a perception. So when the teachers say that you are not in the world is in you, the point is, what you define as this world is simply in your mind. That's the in you portion of that. It's just in your mind. It's a perception. Therefore, it can't be real because we've already established the mind is their ideas, their beliefs, their concepts. They're all false anyway. So the world is perceived as false. Therefore, we're not in this world. The world is in us. It's in the mind.
Okay. So what is the inner resource or the inner guru that you speak of?
Okay. What we have within is the pure consciousness that could know truth, that could know who you really are, who I really am, or more specifically, what I really am and what you really are. Yet what is blocking access to that prevents us from really knowing the answer to who am I, what is this about, is the content of the mind. It's that which is an obstacle for the pure consciousness for seeing truth. So that's the inner resource or the inner guru, that part that is capable of seeing correctly, perceiving properly, knowing the difference in true and false, but that's blocked because of the programming, the conditioning, etc. If we remove all of that, get the mind out of the way, then the pure consciousness can see. It will know itself. And it will know itself as you, and therefore the concept of unicity, not concept of truth, of unicity will manifest. And I will know that I am one with you, that there is no multiplicity. There is only the unicity.
All right. Well, let's move on to the personality.
Okay.
What is the connection you make between personality and suffering?
Well, the teaching suggests that all misery and suffering is a result of body-mind identification, and it's the mind that gives us the belief that the personas that we assume are real. If I take the illusion that I am husband, then pretty soon that's going to be upgraded. I am super husband. And pretty soon, super husband is, of course, codependent because he can't exist without wife, but pretty soon he has to have super wife. And all of a sudden he's not happy because he doesn't think he has super wife. And the whole thing is just a fictional set of roles or personas that have been assumed to start with. Therefore, the misery comes when personas have fears or desires. I fear I'm not going to get the respect. I fear she's going to leave me. I desire that she stay with me forever. I desire that she be a super wife instead of just a regular wife. All of this comes as a result of adopting personas. That's the connection between the two. Pain is of the body. Misery and suffering is of the mind. We get rid of the mind. We get rid of playing the roles. Then we get free of all of the misery and suffering that dominates the masses.